Hey, what's up, everyone? So I recently just finished all of the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. I love the 7 seasons. The eighth season was a bit of a disappointment, and I know, I'm very late to this reaction. I know that Game of Thrones has passed already a few years, but hey, I'm late to the game. But hey, I'm still here. So I tried to avoid all the spoilers, and I tried to watch this with very limited awareness of what the show was about. And the 7 seasons, the first 7 seasons were great. I really enjoyed them. But the eighth season was for me very disappointing, and I know that other fans found it very disappointing. It wasn't terrible, but there were some things that just I didn't feel satisfied. And I know that many other fans would change several things about the eighth season, but for me, I would only change two things, and that is number one, I would change the time in the story where Brienne of Tarth gets knighted. I'm not against her getting knighted, but the way they did it was, for me, I don't think that she would have had much honor because she gets knighted before the battle. And knowing Brienne of Tarth throughout the seasons, she is a woman of honor, and she wants to give her best. And they give her, she gets knighted before the actual battle. And the thing that kind of made me have this perspective was that in the show she gets knighted, and she has this big smile. And for me, seeing Brienne of Tarth for all these seasons, it just wasn't her. It just wasn't her. So one, I wouldn't change her getting knighted, but I would just change the place in the story where that ceremony should happen. The second thing I would change was the anticlimax, where the White Walker King or whatever is coming to kill Bran Stark, and Theon Greyjoy has just died. There's no one blocking, no one fighting anymore against this White Walker. So he has the perfect pathway to reaching Bran and taking him out. And out of nowhere, Arya Stark comes and saves the day. And that was cool. It was nice. But I think it was just it was like, really, it was cheap. It was, for me, it was weak storytelling. And Game of Thrones, they have given us better. How would I have changed it? I mean, I'm no pro, and I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some pro. But I have to re-envision some parts of season 8 because it was so disappointing. So the way I re-envisioned it is, instead of Theon Greyjoy being there by himself at the end, what if he was with Brienne of Tarth? Let's say Brienne of Tarth is there. Theon Greyjoy dies, and then she's the one fighting the White King, the White Walker, and she's fighting desperately, and she kills him. Okay, now let's say that happened. Because after the battle, they have maybe now there's a third thing I would change. After the battle, they have their drinking binge, and Tyrion Lannister, he asked Brienne of Tarth, he asked her this question: "Are you a virgin?" It's like stupid questions because they're playing a game. I think instead of playing that stupid game, instead of just drinking, what if they knighted her after the actual battle instead of knighting her before the battle? I think Brienne of Tarth would have had more honor in fighting her way in, seeing Theon Greyjoy lay his life, and then she fights desperately, and then she takes out the White Walker King. And then the next day, during the celebration, instead of having the "Are you a virgin?" Instead of having things like that, what if that could have been the point where they're all drinking and then they make her they knight her. I don't know, but I just was mostly disappointed with season 8. What would you change? Maybe my suggestion, maybe my perspective is just as ridiculous, is just as terrible, or even worse as what we were given. But what would you change? What would you keep? And what are your opinions? So thank you for watching and have a good day.